Well, you're looking very spring-like, Tina. Beautiful in your yellow t-shirt.
Thanks, Norm. And you're looking very handsome in your blue golf shirt.
Well, thank you, Dean. So, here we are.
Yeah, it comes round quick, doesn't it,
It,
Norm?
it, it really does. We do one video and we think, oh, well, we've got a
Phew.
time to
Yeah.
rest now. But,
And
oh, no.
then we got to do the next one.
Is this retirement?
But it's fun, isn't it?
One of the things that increasingly people feel, and we did as well, is where are you going to replace your friends in retirement from your work colleagues?
Mm-hmm.
Because we kind of regard people that we work with as our friends.
Yeah.
There's a certain comfort level there. One day you retire and you ain't got no friends.
They're not there anymore.
So, we're Tina and Norm, and we talk all things retirement. And if this is your first time on our channel and you like what you see, we would appreciate if you would consider subscribing to us.
And you can always give us the thumbs up, and that really helps our channel too. So welcome. So we're kind of going to chat, Norm, aren't we, about all the different ways that might help people find friends in the new chapter of their life being retired.
What we saw with our parents, because that's our only roadmap, is that both of our parents got to retirement and lived through retirement, and we were an audience to that, if you like. So that's all that we have, as well as friends who are maybe 10 years ahead of us that we've made. And one thing that we saw with our parents is that they stayed in their homes all their life. They never moved away. But what did happen was their friends moved away, and they ended up being pretty much isolated with a whole crop of new neighbors who were a lot younger families. And so they lost their neighborhood friends.
And they kind of found that they didn't really have things in common, did they, with the new sort of younger generation moving in? They were the older people. And so it made it quite different, didn't it?
So my father, when my mother passed, because my mother was a very social person and had friends, I think my father felt isolated, so he joined a church. And that community of the congregation accepted him into the church, and he got a whole new social life from that, where people would invite him to come to dinner and to come and pick him up and kind of keep an eye out for him. So church can be a very important sense of making some new friends. But what else have we got, Tin?
Well, one of the things too, as you know, when we sold our house, we moved into the apartment here.
We did.
And we knew nobody, did we, Norm?
Nobody, because we came to a brand new town. The only person we knew was our son who lived here.
Right. So we thought, wow, we got to kind of get to know people. So
got to push ourselves out there.
Yeah, we got to get to know people in our new town. So we did find out that there was a coffee morning twice a week. And they also played cards twice a week.
I bet you can't pronounce the name of the game they play in Teen.
Actually, they play euchre, Norm.
Tina's been practicing.
We don't play euchre, so we don't go to that. But within the first or second day that we moved in here, I braved it. I went into the coffee morning. I opened the door and I was overwhelmed. There was like 20 people in there, and it was like, holy moly. And I just walked straight in and I said, I'm new here. And once you got over that shock of saying that, everybody was so welcoming, went round, everybody introduced themselves. And from that moment, it's made it so enjoyable for us, hasn't it?
It really has. And Tina used to be the recon unit for us. So if we wanted to know hairdressers or which garage to use or...
Like local information, wasn't it? Oh,
yeah. Well, the coffee
Yeah,
morning.
yeah, we would ask them, and they most of the people had lived around here for quite a while, so
Yeah.
they knew everything and all the good places and the bad places, where to get the best deal from. It was great, and through that we have made some wonderful close friends,
We have.
and they're the ones that we do happy hours with, aren't they?
Yeah, so there's
And it's
a
worked
total
great.
of
There's
3 couples, is it?
Yeah, three and us, so there's
Yeah.
8 of us, isn't there?
And so we get together, and we
Yeah.
have been out to restaurants
Mm-hmm.
prior to the COVID shutdown,
Yeah.
and they've become firm friends, and it's comforting
Yeah.
to have that level of friendship.
It is. And when we first moved in, they also had sort of Christmas get-togethers and potlucks. Now, we haven't had those for the
No.
last couple of years, but it was a good way when we first moved in, wasn't it?
And
We
you
got
didn't
to
have to
meet
go to them,
people.
obviously,
No,
but it was there
yeah,
if you were
if you want,
feeling
yeah.
that you wanted to have some socialization. So, especially if you were on your own,
Mm-hmm.
it was a great opportunity to come and interact and have a
Mm-hmm.
good time. There's also charity shops where
Yes.
you could find friendships. And now, typically, charity shops tend to be the dominated by women on the high street. It tends to be what they volunteer at. But in our town, we have a building recycling store. It's part of Habitat for Humanity, and it's called the Restore. And you can donate building products or stuff left over from renovations. And primarily the men who run that.
It's really unusual. And a lot of furniture too. You can give furniture, can't you? And
Yes,
then
you can.
they resell all the furniture, and they have some wonderful things in there.
It's a great store, and the
Yeah.
proceeds go to them building
Yeah.
homes for people who need them.
But you're right. I would say 90% of the volunteers are all men in there, aren't they?
They are.
So don't think just because it's a ladies' thing to volunteer, there's plenty there for the men to do too, isn't there?
How about taking up a sport team? Would you find friendships through that, do you think?
Oh, absolutely, you would. There are lots of. Take up a new sport. Round here, we have things like in the summer we have lawn bowling, and we have tennis.
And then in the winter time we have the curling,
Yeah.
which is like lawn bowling on ice.
Yeah. But the thing is, you can go just as one person, but then you become part of a group.
That's
and
right.
I think it's that sort of group bit that becomes a team that then maybe you can go for coffee or go for a drink with.
Well, a lot of these
yeah.
sporting clubs, they have leagues, so people create teams. You become part of a team, and that's even more of a friendship that you develop through that.
And I think it's a great way. So not only are you doing a new sport, you're meeting people too. And along those lines too, Norm, is things like gardening clubs or cycling clubs.
There's a lot of community gardens. That is, especially in inner city areas, it's becoming very popular for growing vegetables for the local population. And obviously they need volunteers, and people who like gardening can go along there. And possibly you can trade some time and maybe get the odd vegetable for free as well.
Well, that sounds good, doesn't it?
But it's outdoor, it's active, and you're meeting other people. And this is the whole theme of this. Where are you going to meet people?
Along the same lines of that, Norm, is, for example, if you're a golfer and you like to play golf, you could actually trade your hours. You could become a marshal where you start people off playing golf. So you're giving your time to start the people off, and then you can trade it for free golf. We've got a few people we know that do that, and they say it works wonderful. They love it. Yeah. And you're out in the open air too,
but you're chatting with the golfers as they're waiting for the tee to be clear, and so you'd be having a good old chat about golf or sports or what have you. So it's another way, especially if you're on your own, not to feel isolated.
There's lots of other things too, Norm, that you can do.
We've got a whole
we got
couple of pages here that we're not really trying to read.
there's lots of other clubs too. For example, photography. You could join a photography club.
I joined a photography club and met a wife.
Yay! So we know that's a good one to join. And you could be either interested in the picture side, the photography bit, or you could even do modeling, because they're always looking for modeling, all different ages. So that's a really good one that we could vouch for.
I better keep my eye on Tina there.
Oh.
Classic ones, and we were in this in England, was that there are service clubs. So I was in the Round Table in the UK, and there was a wives or a female version of that that Tina was in.
I was in the Ladies' Circle.
That's correct. I couldn't remember that name just then. So between the two of us, we got a social set of friends, and that really was our circle of friends in England when we lived there. So maybe service clubs in Canada, such as the Lions Club, Rotary Club, there's Kinsman Club.
Oh yes, there is.
Those are all excellent places to go, maybe to meet some people.
And generally, they're all very welcoming if you just go along as a newcomer. And, you know, people want to make you feel welcome, so they're going to want to know a bit about you and
the thing to realize about this is that it's not you looking for friends, it's everybody is looking for friends.
Yeah.
And so once you find a commonality, and part of this is in one of our previous videos, we talked about finding a passion in retirement, so you don't sit in front of the telly 8 hours a day.
Putting the weight on, eating the chips and coffee.
Well, a lot of these activities to try and find friends can become a passion for you as well. So it's two things for a 2 for 1, if you like. One of the big areas is the sort of national clubs, especially in the area where we are. There's towns like Kitchener-Waterloo, London, Ontario, and they have these Portuguese community centres, Polish, German. Obviously, the big one in Kitchener is the Oktoberfest, where they have all the different clubs, the German clubs that organise that. So those are a great way. If you've come to Canada from Portugal, Germany, great way to do it.
And a lot of those you can find that might be linked to, remember that wonderful Portuguese store that we went to, Norm?
Yeah.
And you'll find that people will go there to visit the stores, and then you'll find out about different menus and different foods they're doing. And
they had notice boards with activities at that particular store. Yeah. So it's very much tapping into a community.
Yeah, which is
There is a ton of way to find friends. You just have to be open-minded.
Yeah.
And give yourself a little push.
Push yourself out the door.
Exactly.
We hope we've given you a few ideas there.
So anyway, thanks for watching.
And we hope that everybody is staying safe.
And keeping well.
Till the next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.